What's going on, everybody? Dots Gaming here, and today I have a PvP commentary for you guys for the Elder Scrolls Online Greymoor patch. And in today's commentary, we will be playing our Stamina Necromancer in a game of Chaosball. Game goes really well. We end up scoring 20 kills in this game. I don't remember if we do end up winning the PG, but I know it is a pretty close finish between us and another team. But I thought that this video was a really good example of just a really solid battleground, and I think would make a really good BG commentary, which is why I'm bringing it to you guys today. And this is the Plague build that you can find up on my website, dotsgaming.com, as well as here on my YouTube channel. No changes really made from the build to right now. Works really well as initially designed, and the build is just really fun. StamCro is really solid this patch, in a patch where healing is so nerfed and defensive capabilities is so nerfed, StamCro is still a beefy boy. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So first combo, we open up on this guy with pretty much the dream combo. Blast Bones into Dizzying Swing, into Onslaught. Blast Bones hits with the full pen. Then you go into Execute Spam. Only way it could have been a little bit better is if I weaved in a medium attack there right before the Blast Bones and the Onslaught. But regardless, the guy was running away from us, wasn't even dodge rolling or anything, so we just went into the pure offense there. But if you want to be safe and make sure that your combos land, you want to hit those medium weaves off the D swing, because that will stun your opponent. For those of you who do not know, a medium attack or a heavy attack will stun opponents that are set off balance. So right now we have the Chaosball, so my teammate's just kind of running around, just trying to kill people. So I'm just kind of staying right next to him, trying to defend him. So we step up to this guy, hit him with a D-swing. He does go into stealth, though, so we do back off. Once we have a corpse from our Blast Bones, we bring up the Mortal Coil. We go walk up to this guy, hit him with the D-swing into the Execute, and he does go down. We get leaped by this guy, so I want to take that opportunity when I take that initial damage to refresh all of my defensive buffs. Everything on the back bar gets refreshed. We got 3 buffs on that back bar, 1 on the front bar, so we're always going to be going through our burst rotation. So I see this guy on the side, hit him with the D-swing, and he just gets wrecked between me and my teammate. Very squishy, so not really a super big threat here. Chaosball I see is in the middle, so we deploy our Blast Bones, go into the Onslaught, because this guy is just taking lots of damage, and from there we just pick up the ball. Now, what I like to do with the Chaosball on this map in particular is I like to bring it into a corner, because theoretically, if your team does follow you, you can pretty much kind of hold this point on the map to prevent your enemy team from coming at you. Now, this guy starts attacking me and dealing some big damage to me, so I apply all my defensive buffs on the back bar, go into, we're actually going to replay this, because this is a really good fight here. So I'm trying to push this way, hoping my teammates will follow me, because like I explained, this is just a really good spot to hold, because there's nowhere to come up here, except for through right where this guy, as you can see right here, right where this guy is coming through. Like, this is the only path into here, So it's really good if you can hold this. You can lay tons of AoE here and just deal so much damage to people as they try to come towards the flag, or excuse me, towards the Chaosball. So this guy does some damage to me, CCs me. I'm at about 45% HP. So what I do is I have all my back bar buffs up and ready. So what I do is I refresh Vigor, dodge cancel to refresh my Spirit Guardian to make sure it matches up with my armor buff, just to have a little bit extra duration on it. We go and refresh Rally for a bit of a heal. Then we go Blast Bones just to get the Blast Bones up. Mortal Coil to get the heal running on that, because I have 2 guys coming in here. Then I go D-swing, set the guy off balance, and the Blast Bones is going to hit right after that D-swing for a big batch of burst on that guy. Then we go into the Execute, and he dies. Then we have the second guy to deal with. We just simply go into a double D-swing into the Execute, and my man drops like a sack of bricks. So from there, we just go and refresh all of our buffs. We refresh the Rally, refresh the Mortal Coil. Our back bar buffs are dropping off a little bit. Now, unfortunately, I got screwed a little bit on trying to kill this guy. We go into the D-swing, and I was about to do the Onslaught, but this guy on my left pulled me in with the Fighters Guild pull, Silver Leash. So unfortunately, I did get CC'd before that Onslaught would have landed on that guy. So once I take damage from that guy, I now notice, okay, I'm taking a lot of pressure because I let my buffs drop off. So I swap to my back bar. I go for a dodge roll, refresh the armor buff, try to refresh my, my shuffle. And this death is simply because of my buff and debuff maintenance. If I actually maintained my back bar armor buff as well as my back bar shuffle, I would have been okay here, I think. But unfortunately, I wasn't. Now, I do get screwed by ESO here a little bit, no surprise to anybody. This is, again, an example of why I don't play open world. So what ends up happening is I press my armor buff, it goes off. I press shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and it finally goes off. I then swap to my front bar, and you can see me spamming the rally refresh. It doesn't go off, and instead I get executed. So now, while I do think, because there's an entire red team here and a purple guy here, I think I would have died here anyway, but I would have lasted a bit longer if my skills actually went off when I pressed the buttons. So unfortunately, you just really got to make sure. It's not really unfortunately. You have to be on top of everything when you're playing this patch, because sometimes if you try to recover from a mistake and the game just decides to say piss off and the buttons don't work, you're going to have a tough time recovering because your skills just simply won't go off, so you won't get those key buff refreshes when you need them. So you really, really, really need to be on top of that buff and debuff maintenance, not only just because it is a good habit to make sure you're dealing as much damage at all times as you can be and being as tanky as you can be at all times, but because if you do slack on it, you might not get the button clicks when you need them the most. So it is kind of unfortunate. So we do deploy the blast bones as we walk up to these two guys. We go dizzying swing. Look at that onslaught getting charged up. Onslaught, but the guy does streak it, unfortunately. Blast Bones is running up. Blast Bones does hit the guy. We do execute somebody. Oh, no, that guy did go into stealth. Actually, let me go back here. I'm getting a little confused watching my allies here. So we go for the D-swing. Go for the onslaught. The guy does range it. We go into the onslaught on that guy and just smash him. So he goes down here. We go into an execute on the ball carrier because he's taking a lot of damage from the Chaos Ball. But I do, again, notice my buffs and debuffs are falling off a little bit, so I actually back off the flag carrier, and I refresh all my buffs, go back into that Mortal Coil. We go into our Blast Bones, into D-Swing. I notice this guy's getting low, so I start hitting him with the executes. He comes out of stealth. We hit him with a really nice D-Swing into the execute here. Ball carrier picks it up, low HP. Execute him. Walk up to this guy. He bashes me with his Reaver. We go into Blast Bones, into Mortal Coil, into Execute because he took damage from our teammates. So as you can see, guys, StamCro has a lot of different answers to a lot of things. The class does a lot of damage on top of being very, very tanky. And I mean, as you can see, we're just walking through this enemy team right now. So this ball carrier picks it up. We go into Blast Bones, into D-Swing, into another D-Swing for the stun, but we didn't even need to get it because he ended up getting stunned by one of our teammates. So instead, we just go into the Execute after our Blast Bones lands. Now, I believe the ball ends up getting reset here, so we do just clean up this last guy. This guy just ends up getting cleaned up here. But at this point, the ball just respawns, so we're going to go towards the center. As we're walking towards, like I mentioned earlier, you want to be on that buff and debuff refreshing. Make sure you have those up. This one Mag Sork does go towards the ball, but Mag Sorks cannot streak once they have it. So we go into a D-Swing, into an Onslaught, into the Blast Bones landing, into that guy got wrecked. This guy, again, simple D-Swing, execute spam, he dies. The good thing about this build is that the longer you're in combat, the higher your damage, because we are wearing Fury. So you know that while you're in combat, your D-Swings and your Blast Bones are going to be chunking people. So this guy is chasing my teammate, so I want to peel him off my teammate. So we hit him with a double D-Swing to get the stun, and we also had the Blast Bones right before that D-Swing. You always want to Blast Bones before D-Swing so that you can see your opponent to guarantee the Blast Bones hitting so that it doesn't get blocked or anything. You just want to maximize your amount of burst damage. Now, this guy is just not turning around to attack me, so we just keep going into light attack execute spam until he eventually dies. He was just trying to kite a little bit, and I think my Defile was making his defensive capabilities a little bit strained, so we were just able to take him down pretty easily. Now, I have two guys come up behind me here, so instead of going to engage the ball carrier, who I know is red, I'm going to let the red and purple guys fight there, and instead I'm going to engage the guys behind me. But as we start to see these guys start to fight, the purple team starts to drop a little low. So like I've talked about in previous PvP commentaries, you want to capitalize on opportunities when they present themselves. I don't want to start attacking the random purple guy back there. I see a guy here that's really, really low. You want to take and capitalize on that opportunity and push people for not healing themselves, push people for letting buffs drop off. So again, like I said, this guy steps up to me. I step out of his Selines. Okay, we hit this guy with the D-Swing. I try to hit him with a second one, but he does gap close to the ball carrier. Okay. And as we step up to this guy, I go into the D-Swing, into a dodged, canceled, execute. Reason I do that is because, again, I see this guy behind me attacking, so I want to just dodge cancel out of the way so that now I am not stuck in between. If my pen would come up, please. I was here previously, so we had a guy hitting here, and we had these two guys here. So I don't want to be stuck right in between. Being somewhere over here is going to be a little bit better, so we have like a triangular kind of like configuration in terms of our positions, instead of me just being in the middle and have the capability of being sandwiched. But this ball carrier is getting a little bit low, So I do try to hit him with a D-swing, but right as I do that, this guy Selene does proc. So I do dodge roll out of the proc. We go into a D-swing, smash the ball carrier, dodge roll out of the D-swing. I try to get my Mortal Coil, and again, ESO decides that it just doesn't want to work, making PvP a truly wonderful experience. So again, we execute the guy here. I turn around, I press my Mortal Coil 1, 2, 3 times, does not go off. So instead, we just bar swap with no Mortal Coil, unfortunately. So instead, we have to go into a Vigor to heal ourselves. We go into our pet. We go into our armor buff. We dodge roll because we're taking a little bit of pressure. Go into the refresh on the shuffle. We are about to get our rally as well, which is nice. So we get the rally back up. We cleanse all of our debuffs off of us, and now we're good. We are at full HP. Magic is sitting pretty good. We got 50% stam. We go into a Blast Bones here to try to take this guy down, but he drops to our team. So I pick up the ball here because I know I'm pretty tanky on this build. So I know that I can safely hold the ball with no problems. Again, we want to do the strategy that I mentioned earlier, and we want to sit here. Unfortunately, my teammates don't see that, and instead they just go running off into Never Never Land, and I'm going to be left to tank out an entire team by myself. As you can see, they just run away. They're just playing over there, and they eventually just leave, and I'm just chilling. And then the entire purple team comes up, and my team is nowhere to be found. So we just get gap closed on by this guy. We go into the D-swing, into the onslaught, but I have to actually cancel it because I would have got hit by the Selene. I didn't want to get hit by the Selene and take that chunk of damage. I probably should have let the onslaught go through because I would have absolutely chunked this guy. But since, as you can see, we got this guy right here charging up a snipe, and the other person there is a Magsork, I didn't want to take that big chunk of damage because I was scared where that would have put my HP bar. So we go into the onslaught afterwards, into the light attack, execute, dodge roll. This is why animation canceling is so important, because I was able to deal, if you add up all that damage, I was able to deal like about, 10.7k damage-ish, 10.8k-ish, and dodge roll afterwards to immediately dodge roll the damage coming from these two other guys. So we go for the dodge roll. We should have done a rally refresh there, but we did go into the back bar instead, go into the Vigor. We're holding block. I go for the rally refresh there, try to get the Mortal Coil up. We try to drink our potion. I'm spamming the potion. It finally goes off, but unfortunately, it isn't enough, and we do drop. So between the amount of damage I was taking from the Chaosball, the fact that I was defiled, the fact that I was not getting heals from my skills, even though I was spamming them, it just unfortunately caused us to drop. We weren't getting those key heals when we needed them, so we did end up dying. But we held the ball for quite a long time there and did score a good amount of points from our team. But guys, if you are in a game of Chaosball and you see your ball carrier sitting in the back corner there, just sit there and defend them. That's the strategy they're trying to deploy. It funnels your enemies into a certain area, makes it really easy for you guys to chunk them as they walk in. It's just a really, really good strategy. So this ball carrier is running around, and so I do try to follow him, and for some reason my skills are just like getting like minorly lost because this guy just keeps running around the pillar. So it's a good move on his part, but he finally does break out. We chunk him with a D-swing, and he gets absolutely railed. We go into our back bar, we refresh our buffs, we cleanse everything off. We go into our Blast Bones, into the D-swing, into the onslaught. We go for another Blast Bones because our Blast Bones did not show up. We go into another D-swing, into the execute, and the guy drops. Dude, it's just what StamCro's all about, man. Those D-swing, Blast Bone executes with the onslaught. It just is so much burst damage. People struggle to heal through it because of the defile. It's just an incredibly potent combination. So what we do, again, we do get fucked on our Mortal Coil bar swap cancel. Mortal Coil just decided not to participate today. We go into our back bar buff refresh. Okay, like I said, we should have gone for a cleanse there. I did not, but instead we just swapped to our front bar, went for the rally refresh. I tried to hit Mortal Coil as we swapped bars, but unfortunately it did not go off. But then we do go into the cleanse, into Vigor, just to make sure we're all topped off here. After that, we're just kind of wandering around, seeing where the ball is. We do find with the carrier. We see this bow guy really, really low. There's a bunch of bow guys in this BG, and look at this. We got this guy and this guy. So my first priority when I see these guys in a fight is I want to take them out because they're just going to defile the crap out of me. I mean, you can see this guy's got a bow too with the toxic spray. So we just easily crap on that guy with our D-swings and our execute while our major defile got put on, on this red guy. So from there, the red guy becomes my priority target because I know he is defiled. So we go into 2 D-swings, try to go into the execute, but he gets yoinked by my teammate. So instead, I turn to this red guy who's really, really low. And I was going to try to execute him there, but as you can saw, my health was starting to dip a little bit low. So, okay, let's review this fight here because it was going a little bit fast. What ends up happening, D-swing, basic execute, okay? We go into this guy that has the defile on. We go D-swing, try to do another D-swing. He gets yoinked by my teammate, which again fucked me there, really big. And I try to go and hit this guy, but I'm getting shot by a bow. Okay, I'm getting shot by a bow. We got these two guys up. I'm fairly low myself. Back bar buffs are dropping off. So what we do is we do Mortal Coil, bar swap with the dodge roll afterwards, okay? This is just to make sure that I don't take any damage while I'm swapping my bars. Okay, after that, we come up, we do shuffle, we do pet, armor, refresh Mortal Coil. Okay, so now we are all, look, we're completely healing ourselves back up. Buffs totally refreshed. The reason I also went down the stairs too a little bit here, guys, is because I used the stairs as a little bit of LOS. So we do that in order to make sure that we are taking no damage from these guys up here. You know, I don't want these guys to be able to hit me while I refresh all my buffs. So we use the stairs for loss. We go back up. This guy gets yoinked by my team. I try to go into the D-swing, but into the onslaught, but he does dodge roll. Probably should have medium weave to stun off of a first initial D-swing before hitting the onslaught, because I unfortunately did waste my ultimate there. We instead hit a D-swing onto this guy. Blast Bones goes. Second D-swing into the executes. The guy goes into stealth, and he does escape. But we're going to ignore those guys. We are going to focus on the ball carrier. So we go into the ball carrier fight, and as you notice, right before we went in, we refreshed all of our buffs and debuffs. Walk up to this guy. We hit the Blast Bones first. Now, I know this guy is a sniper. This guy is just he's very squishy. So I'm just going to take him out of the fight really quick. Bam, basic D-swing, execute, dude dies. My Blast Bones getting all up in there, hits the ball carrier. Ball carrier is now defiled, so we go into a D-swing, into the execute spam, the dude drops. Now, I tell my team, as you can see, stay here, okay? I don't want my team to leave. I want my team to defend this area. So I put myself in a corner where the enemy teams have to step into this area if they want to attack me. Okay, so this one guy steps up. We hit him with some D-swings. We get the Blast Bones rolling into the executes, and he dies. And we do Mortal Coil on his body because, again, I am holding the Chaosball, so I am going to be taking damage. So I want to make sure to keep that rally, keep the vigor, keep the Mortal Coil, and keep the pet running just to give myself as many tick heals as I physically can so that we can hold the ball for as long as possible. Now, again, if you are on the ally team as well, try not to stand in the Chaosball aura as much as you can. It will deal damage to you. I mean, as you saw, that one guy next to me kept taking a lot of unnecessary damage, so thankfully he did eventually step out of it. But like I said, I'm just chilling here. I'm just chilling. You know, my team's holding the line. If they want to get to me, they're going to have to go through this choke. Okay, so we're just chilling, waiting. You know, I'm not standing to my right here, because if I stand right here, they'll be able to actually hit me. So we stand off to the side. I am kind of jumping around, though, because I'm getting a little impatient, waiting for some fights. But again, we step into the corner. This guy steps up. We go into the D-swing, into a second D-swing, into the onslaught, into the execute. Dude just gets absolutely blasted. The only way that could have been better is if I weaved in a Blast Bones after the initial D-swing so that the second one would have stunned. The Blast Bones would have hit, and the onslaught would have hit, and the guy would have been instantaneously bursted. But even then, he died really, really quickly. Now, we start taking so much damage from the Chaosball here. I try to refresh my heals for as long as I can to keep myself alive, but unfortunately, the Chaosball is going to chunk us, and we do die. But if you guys see, employing the strategy that I did on this map, look how many points we have on this Chaosball, man. We really, really got a crap load of points. Now, I actually did decide to take the res here. Normally, I do not take reses in Battlegrounds, but I wanted to take the res here so that I was able to stay and actually defend the ball carrier, because now we have a new teammate with the ball. So I wanted to be able to defend my team and continue to hold this choke without having to go through the back of the red team, especially because I am dealing the most damage on our team, and like literally this guy gets sent into next week. So I go. Once I get res, I try to refresh all my buffs on myself. I'm waiting for my Magica to regen a little bit so I can't get the pet up. We go into the Mortal Coil. I'm just swinging at these guys, telling them to step up, dude, step up. We pop our potion for the crit buff. We walk up to this guy, light attack, D-swing, onslaught, get wrecked. And then from there, the game ends. But guys, a very, very good game on the Stamina Necromancer. The biggest issue that I saw here in this game was just that, we died to some issues with our skills just not deciding to go off and not really cooperating. That seemed to be the biggest issue that I saw. Overall, I think that 1 point, our buff maintenance was obviously sloppy, which was why the fact that the buffs were not properly refreshed really hurt us as much as it did. But besides that, it was just an amazing game. I think we played really, really well. We got a lot of points for the team. I mean, as you can see, we got almost 2,900 points on the game, 20 kills, 3 deaths, 8 assists. It was just a very, very good textbook game, and I think shows the power of Stamina Necromancer very, very well. But guys, I hope you did enjoy this BG commentary. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like on it if you like the video, and of course, subscribe to keep up to date with the rest of the content I put here on my YouTube channel. It does stink that these other teams only had 3 members each. It would have been nice if they all were 4, because it would have been a little bit more even. Unfortunately, this game was a little lopsided, but you know, just gotta hope that eventually the matchmaking system gets a little bit better. But anyway, guys, thank you all for stopping by. Appreciate it very much. As always, I'm Dots Gaming. I'll see you all in the next one.